Welcome back. You're watching Future News. Joining us now is Ziad Kamel, CEO of the Alleyway Group in Lebanon's Jumeirah. He's here to talk to us today about Lebanon's hospitality during the Christmas and New Year's period. Have profits climbed, or is Lebanon feeling the brunt of the Arab Spring? Thank you for being with us today, Ziad. So let's start. How can you compare this year's Christmas and New Year period to maybe last year's? I mean, you can even compare it to the summer, if you like.
This year, we saw the season started late this year. In our industry, December is what everyone waits for. That's when all the tourists come. That's when all the Lebanese abroad come back to celebrate Christmas and New Year's and the holidays with their families. Compared to last year, it started, I would say, a week later than it usually does. But now we're going strong.
So you wouldn't necessarily say that the Arab Spring, let's say what's happening in maybe Jordan, Syria, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, that has had actually an effect on your business? I mean, are we pulling in the Gulf?
It actually had a huge effect over the course of the whole year rather than just December. As you know, Lebanon receives a huge portion of its tourists from the Middle East through the land borders, which have obviously decreased due to the Arab Spring and the problems around in our neighbors. If you look at the official numbers of tourists coming in by plane and by land, also all of it has decreased from the Gulf states. 2011 overall has been approximately 15 to 20% lower in turnover than 2010. And 2010 wasn't such a good year because we were just recovering from the global financial crisis. So putting that into perspective, 2011 has been a very difficult year for the sector.
I mean, let's move on from the tourists. Surely, I mean, most of what you've got at the moment, apart from Zaytouni Bay, where you have a restaurant called Amarres, most of what you've got on Jumeirah.
Yes.
So, I mean, with the birth of Hamra and Antilles and now this Uruguay or Kassir Street, and Juni,
yeah.
Is this having even more of an effect on, let's say, business?
Yes, it's correct to say so. Real estate prices in Beirut have gone up drastically over the past few years, and obviously this affects the businesses. Rents go up, and sustainability is more difficult when rents are higher. Therefore, businesses see other opportunities outside Beirut to operate in and operate a more profitable business, basically. You've seen many brands and many entrepreneurs looking for the right deal outside of Beirut. It's very difficult now to operate a profitable business in Beirut.
So are you looking maybe to move out, to grow? I mean, I know we've got Zaytouni Bay, but like further, are we going to go?
Yes, definitely. We're looking at expanding northwards towards Baye, towards the Jouni area. We're hopefully going to open Couqley in 2 branches, one in Baye and one in Jouni in 2012. In addition to expanding the brand to the Middle East, to the GCC countries, obviously the ones that haven't been affected by the Arab Spring at the moment.
So you're going to have to take your business completely outside the country to make any money.
Yeah, I mean, you could still make money in Beirut, but in the hospitality industry and in many industries, Lebanon is a springboard to the Middle East. You can't just you just can't see Lebanon as your whole market. You have to look beyond our borders. If you want to grow your business and have access to millions of potential customers, you need to look at the GCC and the Middle East and not just Lebanon alone.
Do you think this is a bit of an iffy period to try to move out? I mean, or shouldn't you stay cushy for a while and see what happens?
I mean, yes and no. The same question was asked when I started investing in my country in 2005. Right after the assassination of our Prime Minister. A lot of people advised me not to invest in Lebanon and to move elsewhere. 1 year later, the war with Israel as well. We kept investing, we kept believing in the country, and we succeeded. So my advice to entrepreneurs is you have to be aware of the political and security factors, but you can't include them in the business plan. Because once you include them in the business plan, then obviously you're not going to invest.
Well, we've got a bit of a political factor question coming next. I mean, I'm sure you've heard about this new cabinet wage hike that's being passed through cabinet and parliament and being spoken about by everybody. Supposedly, they're going to raise the minimum wage from 500,000 Lebanese lira to 876 or 67 Lebanese lira. And that's what, an 18% jump? And people earning a bit more gets a 10% jump. I mean, could this maybe make people within the private or public industries bankrupt?
Yes, it is quite a large jump. 18% across the board on your payroll represents a huge chunk of your operating expenses. It could basically erode any profits that a business could make and eventually shut down the business. Now, if we were operating in a secure and stable country with access to a lot of tourists, then it wouldn't be such a big problem because you know, the business would still be profitable. However, our industry is very sensitive to security issues. And if our current government and our leaders cannot keep Lebanon secure and away from the events that are happening in the Arab Spring, then yes, we will be forced to shut down or let go of some of our staff in order to survive. So really it depends. If 2012 is going to be stable and we're going to see a large number of tourists coming in, then we should be able to survive.
Survival of the fittest, let's say.
Yes.
Ziad, thank you.
Thank you
for
very
being
much.
with us today.